Good afternoon. Okay, so now almost ending of the 2019. So we will go to, so we will go through the Lamrim practice from beginning till the wisdom chapter. So every day when you practice Dharma, first you need to identify the human life, leisure and opportunity. That means as a human being who has all the good condition, you are free from the 8 conditions. Also you have the 10 opportunity. So this life is, which is you have right now, it is so difficult to obtain, so difficult to have it, and also very easy to lose it. Therefore, we should not waste the rare human life and all the opportunities. Therefore, every day you must remember the human life, leisure and opportunities. When you reflect about the quality of the human life, then you should compare the human life with the other lives, non-human beings, like animal, hungry ghosts, hell beings. So far we cannot see the hell being, but we are able to see the animal realms. If we compare our human lives, the number of the human beings and animals, so you really cannot compare. Therefore, the human life is very rare and also number is very little. Think this way, then you will notice I have, the important life, which is very rare and also very good opportunities. I have the 10 opportunities. Particularly, I have the opportunity to free from suffering. I have the opportunity to achieve Buddhahood. In order to continuously obtain the human life, which is completely leisure and opportunity, so you need to practice the 10 virtues as much as you can, and we need to take refuge into Guru, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. In order to do that, therefore we need to practice Dharma. Then the question is here, why we need to practice Dharma? Why I need Dharma? So I need to practice Dharma. I need Dharma because the answer, why we need to practice Dharma? Why? Yes, I want happiness, doesn't want suffering. I am totally insuffered. I have a lot of suffering. I want to eliminate the suffering. I want to achieve happiness, not just the temporal happiness. I want to achieve the lasting happiness which is free from samsara. Therefore, always think I need to practice Dharma. So, this is the case. Then when you need to practice Dharma, this life and next life. This life. Why not next life? There's no certain, no guarantee I can have another human life which will have the opportunity to practice Dharma. Therefore, I want to practice Dharma in this life. Clear? This life. In this life, so you want to practice now, next year, or after next year. Now, you cannot postpone the practice for next year, after next year, because life is impermanent. Love is uncertainty. So if you think this way, then you have a very strong aspiration to practice Dharma because I want happiness, I don't want suffering. I want to practice Dharma right now because life is impermanent. I can be died anytime. I cannot postpone the practice Dharma for next life because next life there's no guarantee. Then, so you have strong aspiration to practice Dharma. Then the third question, will you able to practice Dharma? Will you able to practice Dharma? Yes or not? Yes. I have the opportunity. I will able to practice Dharma because I have the two conditions, external and internal conditions. Internal, you are totally free from the 8 conditions, and you have the 10 opportunities. Therefore, you have the inner condition. So you have the external conditions because you have the right guru, you have the perfect teacher, then you have the right time. Therefore, I will able to practice Dharma because I have all these conditions. Then, so how I can practice Dharma? Because there are so many different practices. Vajrayana practice, Mahayana practice, small capacity path, middle capacity path, Hinayana, so many different practices. So how should I start to practice Dharma? Right now you should think, the samsara is look like big ocean, ocean, because it's very deep, it's very vast. The samsara is very deep or very vast or is short, it depends on you. Why the samsara is look like ocean? Because it is so vast. The samsara is, countless. It is so difficult to cross the ocean, so difficult to overcome the samsara because our mind always cling, always attached to the samsara, right? Samsara. And all the negative thoughts we have, those are very mistaken mind. Everything, arises from ignorance. Therefore, it is so difficult to overcome, so difficult to cross the samsara of the ocean. When you cross the ocean, in the other side, it looks like nirvana. This side is a samsara. So right now we are in the ocean, this side. So we try to cross the ocean, so maybe many times. So far, we not able to cross. Then, therefore, so in order to cross the bridge, cross the ocean, you need a bridge from here to the next edge. So the bridge is look like, the higher realms life, like human life and the divine life. So if there's a bridge, then you can use the bridge, you can cross the ocean of samsara. So between the liberation and samsara, between Buddhahood and samsara, you need to rely on the, the higher realms life, particularly human life, right? So we continuously need to obtain, we continuously take a rebirth in the higher realms, particularly human. So what are the causes and conditions for achieving or to obtain the human life? What are they? Ethical disciplines, as well as the 10 virtues, and taking refuge into Guru, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Those are the main conditions to achieve the human life. Clear? So this practice, if you practice only, 10 virtues action, taking refuge, and practice the morality, if you only practice these practices merely for your own happiness, then this practice, this path become small capacity path, merely small capacity path. Because when you study Lamrim, you say, the path with the small being and shared with the great being and medium being, right? That means if you only practice the 10 virtues, taking refuge, and morality only for your own benefits, that means this path we can call small capacity path only, right? So you are practicing this path in order to become Buddha. Therefore, you need to rely on this path. Then it becomes the path shared with the small, big capacity and middle capacity, right? Therefore, as a Mahayana practitioner, the person who practice bodhicitta, emptiness, as a foundation, you always need to practice the 10 virtues, ethical discipline, and taking refuge into Guru, Buddha, and Dharma, right? Therefore, when you study your practice, first you reflect on the human life, leisure and opportunity, then impermanence, then death, then the 4 reflection. I want to practice Dharma. I want to practice Dharma now. I cannot postpone. Then I have the capable. I have the opportunity to practice Dharma. They want to practice Dharma. How? First, you have like 10 to 15 minutes. First, you visualize Guru, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or Guru, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and take refuge into them, the depth of your heart. So I will take refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha until I become a Buddha. At the same time, you must remember the kind of the commitment. So once you take refuge into Buddha, then you should not take refuge into the worldly being. Like even though we pray to many dharma protectors. Clear? Some dharma protector is completely, free from all the sufferings, is completely, become fully enlightened. So it's okay. You can take refuge to that kind of dharma protector. For example, TBC, someday we have a dharma protector puja. when we do the puja, we do the Palden Lama, which is the totally transcendent being, roughly Palden Lama, peacefully Aryatara. Then we pray to the Mahakala, peacefully Avalok the Shora, roughly Avalok Mahakala. So, it's okay to take refuge to them. So when we need some support, some helping from the worldly God. So you can have you make a request. You can ask certain support from them. For example, when we sick, we see doctor. We get support from the doctor. When we hungry, we go to the shopping. So we bought things from the shopping mall. It's okay to make a request to get something from them, but you should not take refuge. I want to take refuge you until I become a Buddha. You are taking refuge in order to become Buddha. Therefore, the ordinary God, the worldly God, they don't have the ability to show the path to us for achieving Buddhahood, because they are still in the samsara. Then second, after you take refuge into Dharma, then you totally have to be non-violence. You should not harm anybody, as well, any sentient beings. Therefore, in the Chinese tradition, which is very good, all Buddhists, if you could, must be vegetarian. And all the sanghas, monks and nuns, must be vegetarian. Because once you take refuge into Dharma, you're not supposed to harm any sentient beings. When you take meat, also you are harming the life. That's the reason, they're not supposed to take non-veg food, only veggie food. Then, also, since you're taking refuge into Dharma, also you must, pay highly respect to all the Dharma books. Third, since you haven't taken refuge into Sangha, right? Sangha means here the being, the practitioner who already accomplished to the singing path, meditation path. Those we consider as a Sangha within the three jewels. Sangha, clear? So, since you has taken refuge into Sangha, then you should not trust, about your practice with the other traditional, other master. About your practice, I'm not saying you should not trust. So when you need to practice bodhicitta, if some non-Buddhist, person try to explain you how to practice bodhicitta, then you should not trust, because they don't know how to teach you how to practice bodhicitta. Clear? Then you must know how to take refuge into Buddha. You must take refuge into Buddha as your teacher, as your guru, as your guide. Clear? Second, when you take refuge into Dharma, you must take refuge into Dharma as your achievement, as your practice. When you take refuge into Sangha, you must take refuge into Sangha as your component to practice Dharma. And then, plus, you always engage into the 10 virtues action, totally avoid, totally abandon the non-10 virtues. Then here you need to know why I need to abandon killing, Because killing always linked with the sense of hatred, angry, right? Anger. When we kill due to the dislike someone. Also, killing also linked with the attachment. So we kill so animal, particularly we kill many fish because we have an attachment, we have a desire to eat the fish. Also we kill many animal in order to have the skin, right? Therefore we wear the leather jacket, leather shoes. Also sometimes we pay a lot of money for a tiger skin, so and so. Those are we kill because of attachment, because of desire. That means killing, maybe we kill because of the ignorance, of course they are, because of the attachment, because of anger. If you always engage into killing, it increases your attachment and anger, right? Then stealing also can be steal by attachment or steal by sense of hatred. Then the sexual misconduct, also based on attachment and desire. So you have to, abandon the 10 non-virtuous action, always practice the 10 virtuous action. Then why we name virtues and non-virtuous? Because, for example, not harming other, not killing other. This action, when arise, is make you feel happy. It makes you very peaceful. When the result come, the result is always positive. The result is always virtuous. That we call virtuous action. Then among the practices, ethical discipline is very important, mainly cause to have a human life. If you only practice ethical discipline, not patience, then you can have a human life. But you cannot be the nice person. You cannot be very looks good person. So therefore, in plus ethical discipline, we need to practice patience. Right? Then, if you practice only ethical discipline, patience, no generosity, then you born as a very nice, beautiful, attractive person, but you won't have the wealth. Right? If you are totally lacking of the wealth, then there's no way there's opportunity to practice Dharma. Therefore, you need to practice ethical discipline as well as generosity and patience. Right? So, therefore, this practice we call, small capacity path. Then, if you practice these practices for continuously for aeon and aeon, then you continuously born into higher realms. That means you are still in the samsara. Right? Right now, look at we spend a lot of time. Also, we spend quite the material thing for obtaining human life. Right? We are very excited. We really wish to have another human life. Right now we are already human being. We think our daily experience, daily happiness and sufferings problem, human life is not that, happy life. Right? Then, let's say we're going to die after, 40 years. After 40 years, if we take a rebirth again as a human, then the world may be very suffered. Because now you can see by year, everything is changing. More problem, more suffering, more poverty, more war. They look like no hope to have a peaceful world. Therefore, we must pray, I wish to born human wherever is happy, peaceful, and able to listen, practice Dharma. Right? Dharma. Then, therefore, if we practice only ethical discipline, patience, generosity, taking refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then we still in the samsara. That's why we call, cyclic existence. If you think this way, then you feel bored, right? Then next you need to think, no, I don't want to be only born as a human. I want to free from suffering. I want to free from samsara, right? Samsara. Then do you remember, in order to overcome samsara, then you need to think, what is the cost? What is the primary cause? What is the secondary causes of the samsara? Right? Samsara. Do you remember what does mean samsara? There's two types. One is the place where we born. Also we name samsara. The most important one, we must know the physical body. Right now we have. The physical body is always samsara, is the real samsara. Therefore, the physical bodies look like you carry, let's say you are very young, energetic person, still you always carry the dead body. Right? This means mentally we are quite okay. When we think our physical body is a kind of basis of all sufferings. Therefore, what Buddha said, all the bhikshu, the 5 aggregates are the burden. You are the person who carry the burden. Therefore, the physical body is the samsara. So, how we take this kind of life? Then again, to remember what are the main causes and conditions to have samsara. Karmas. First, karma. Whether positive karma or negative karma is a karma. As a human, so we born as a human because of the positive karma. The other beings born as an animal because of the negative karma. Right? Then the karma, how we accumulate the positive karma and negative karma. How? Because of the afflict emotions. Karma, negative karma and positive karma. All the negative karma we have accumulated because of the afflictive emotions. Mainly anger, attachment, hatred, desire. All of them cause to accumulate negative karma. Then compassion, kindness, tolerance, forgiveness, be honest, good heart. Those are cause to arise the positive karma. Still in the deep down, the ignorance is always there. Do you remember in the so when we study about the emptiness, then there's a quotation from the 400 stanza. Do you remember? Do you remember the sentence, body and the? Yeah. Physical, can we? Huh?
Page 207.
No, you choose.
Just as the
Yeah. Yeah, that's therefore look at our physical body is completely pervaded by the physical sensation. Right? If somebody touch you, you can feel it. When you, if there's a weather is so cold, you feel I feel cold. Actually, the physical body is getting cold because of the sensation is there. Without sensation, you cannot feel cold and hot. Right? Therefore, all the negative afflictive, in all the negative thoughts, all the afflictive emotions, lies ignorance. Ignorance is always there. Therefore, samsaras caused by positive and negative karmas. All the positive karma caused by, compassion, kindness, tolerance, so and so, the positive minds. The negative karma caused by the negative thoughts. Both of them caused by ignorance. Ignorance, right? Then, if you practice only, about the Four Noble Truths, the suffering, which is the pervasive suffering, the origin of suffering, which is karma, emotion, the positive thoughts, ignorance, plus, so when you think the nature of the samsara, then you start to generate the renunciation. Renunciation. Therefore, if you practice only let's say, practice renunciation, Four Noble Truths, then this path, what we name the middle capacity path, merely middle capacity path, right? So let's say one practitioner mainly practice Four Noble Truths, renunciation, then emptiness. This path we call medium capacity path, right? Also the practitioner practice, 10 virtuous actions, taking refuge, ethical discipline. Those they call, this practice share with the small capacity practitioner. Right? That's, for example, there's a 3-story building, you are living at the top. So in order to reach, you have to go through the first store, the second store, and third store. The person who live in the first store, they no need to go to the second one. The person who stay in the second, they have to go through the first store. They reach to the second. Right? That means the first store is only for the people who lives in the first store. But the first part of the first store is shared with the people who live the second store. Therefore, the middle capacity practitioner mainly practice Four Noble Truths, the renunciation, emptiness, as well practice the 10 virtues and ethical discipline, so and so. Right? Then, so if you practice only renunciation, emptiness, Four Noble Truths seriously, then you will achieve what? Liberation. Liberation, you will be free from samsara. Samsara. You are no more in samsara. Clear? You no more in samsara. But if you just, so when you wish to achieve liberation, is mainly for whom? Mainly for yourself. Mainly for yourself. Here you must remember, so after you achieve liberation, still you have the physical body, right? You have the physical body. So, the physical body you cannot terminate until you death, right? Until you death. So, after you death, then you completely eliminate this physical body, The next, what kind of body will you have? Will you have a body or you won't have a body? With the body. There's two views. From the lower school, from the lower tenets, most of them believe after you pass away, there's no more life. No more life. Your life totally ends. Because all the ignorance is exhaust. All the afflict emotions eliminate. Karma exhaust. There's no causes condition to trigger another rebirth. They believe it's totally ending of the samsara, ending of the life. Then there's another, view. No, they totally stop to have the pervasive suffering, the contaminated body. Still, they will have another subtle body, the subtle body, with the mind, with the consciousness. Therefore, when do you remember there's two types of cessation and non-analytical cessation. No. There's two types of liberation. Yeah, with and without, right? So when you achieve nirvana, first you have the body. Second, you won't have the body, still you are in the nirvana state. That time, you are completely peaceful, very bliss. Because there's no any causes condition to arise suffering. Then you won't feel thirsty, hungry, nothing. Because you don't have the physical body. Right now, why we feel thirsty? Because the body. We put water exhausts, feel thirsty. We put food exhausts, digest, feel hungry. No physical body, no need food, no need air condition. Right? Therefore, it's so bliss, so happy. Therefore, we call, the blissness. Then next, if you, wish to achieve the liberation only for your own happiness, only for yourself, then this is not the right way of thinking, right? Because let's say all your families, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, all your siblings are blind. They cannot see anything. Also, they are very uneducated. They don't know anything. They know, eating, sleeping, and toileting. They don't know anything. So you are the only one person who can see things. You are the only person who are very educated. You know good and bad. So you are only one person among the family. Right? Right now, let's say we have very few people. Right now, we are the person who can see things. We are the only person who are educated. Educated about what? Dharma. Because you are educated, you have the education, you have the knowledge, how to overcome sufferings, how to achieve happiness, how to stop the cause of suffering. So you are very educated. Also, you are not blind, because you can see things are impermanent, things are not exist inherently. So you are the one person who have this kind of ability. Then you just leave your family, right? Go some place, just enjoying yourself, very happy yourself. It is the right way of thinking, right? Because why not? Those are your family, your father, your mother, your relatives. You have the connection because the parents give you birth. The relatives support you, help you somehow. How the relative can support you? Because they are totally blind, they are very uneducated. How they can support you? Still they can talk you. They can help to, they can give you some helping here and there. Therefore, right now, look like you are very educated, you can see things, but you wish to happy yourself. You want to free from yourself. You totally ignore, neglect your family. This is no good at all. Therefore, second, you should think, no, I don't want to achieve liberation, only benefit for myself. I want to achieve liberation for benefit for other sentient beings. Other sentient beings. Because me and other sentient being has a, what do you call? Connection. We have a relationship, right? Relationship. Because right now, we consider our mother, my mother, is most important person for in this life, right? Because since we were in the stomach, she carried us for 9 months with a lot of difficulties, lot of problems. Give a birth during the time giving birth is not the happy moment. Lot of sufferings, lot of problems, lot of scary, worry. When you already give a birth, still have to take care. When we were born, we really forgot, how the mother raised us. When we were born, you can see, this day you can see a lot of YouTube, video. When give a birth, it looks like a piece of meat. First, we learn what we learn. When we were born, what did we learn? Crying. Well, mother didn't know what to do. What the baby asking milk, asking clothes. What's the problem? What do you want? Baby still cry, don't know nothing. Right? Therefore, this lifetime mother is very important. Therefore, in my past life, whether you are human or you are not human being, we had a mother. Right? Therefore, this lifetime, we cannot recognize your enemy, your neighbors. Those are used to be your best mother, your best father, your best friend, your best wife, husband and child. And they were born this life as your enemy. We cannot recognize. Therefore, we think, those are my enemy. We have a very sense of strong-headed, right? And also, some of your relatives, some of your friends, you always keep them very close because you forgot those are your enemy in your past life. Maybe, he or she totally destroyed our life in the past. So therefore we forgot they are our enemy. We really care very much. Also, we really forgot, cannot recognize those are our parents. We harm them. If you think this way, then you can see, the samsara is very uncertainty. That finally you can make a conclusion. I have a countless life, right, in the past. Therefore, all sentient beings used to be my mother. This time, I should not ignore their happiness. I should not ignore their suffering. They are totally suffer. I have the ability, them free from suffering. I have the ability to provide happiness them. Therefore, do you remember, we must be the dutiful, right? Dutiful child. Dutiful child. If you ignore sentient beings, you cannot be dutiful child. Then you can think, I should not be, thinking on only myself. Then related to, help receiving benefits and harming. As a human, we have a very interesting mentality. We have a very interesting character. Let's say your neighbors, right? So most of you stay in the, what you call, HDB. When you go, you have some of you stay in the 20 or 30 floors. Somehow, you always meet your neighbors. They always say, hello, how are you? Always, show you very affection, pay respect. Then we are okay. We do not take this. Those are a very important kind of activity, actions. One day, the neighbors argue with you. Argue one time or two times. Then we always count the two arguments. We never count last 5 years. They have been respecting me, they have been giving me affection, they have given me, some kind of support. We forgot. We always count the bad things, right? If we happy to count the bad thing, we must count the good things. Therefore, we always remember all sentient beings used to be my dear mother. Then you shift, you change your mentality. First, you think only yourself. Second, no, it is not the correct way. It is not the right way to thinking, achieving liberation only myself. Then here you must remember, even though if you achieve liberation, you haven't achieved your own achievement. As well, you haven't achieved achievement for others. When you achieve liberation, why not? You haven't achieved your own achievement. Because you eliminate the gross types of suffering. Still you have the subtle types of suffering. That means you haven't achieved your own happiness. Still you have a little sufferings. You haven't achieved, achievement for others because you cannot do much for others. Therefore, I need to achieve what? Buddhahood. Now you can see the practice, the small capacity path change into the middle capacity path. The middle capacity path change into great capacity. Now you are, almost beginning of the great capacity path. Because, therefore, in order to practice bodhicitta, again, you need to practice the Four Noble Truths. You need to practice emptiness. You need to practice renunciation. You need to practice the 10 virtues. You need to take refuge into Guru, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That means when you practice the higher level practice, you must include all the practices, right? Then you spend maybe 10 minutes about the 10 virtues, taking refuge, ethical discipline, generosity, so and so. Then reflect about the nature of samsara, the causes, condition of samsara, the ignorance, achieving liberation. Third, it is not a good idea to achieve liberation only for myself. I want to achieve Buddhahood. I want to be Buddha. Why you want to be Buddha? Without becoming Buddha, cannot you have other beings, other sentient beings? Can or cannot? Cannot. Okay, this day, even though in Singapore, there are so many people, they are very generous. They always support others. There are so many good doctors. They're helping, the sick people. There are so many workers. They have helped you to, done something. So without becoming Buddha, you can really benefit all sentient beings. Why not?
Cannot eliminate the root suffering.
Uh,
Cannot eliminate their root cause, the cause of suffering.
your own or their?
Yes.
Why not? Huh? Yeah, limited capacity. Let's say somebody really wants to help you, support you, really wanted to support you, really want to help you. Let's say you wish to achieve Buddhahood, right? Buddhahood. This is your main achievement, your main goal. What? Buddha. If somebody give you little food, you really appreciate receiving food, but the food is not your main achievement. Somebody provide medicine, you appreciate about giving medicine, but it is not your main goal. You say you are really appreciate. You are not really satisfied, receiving the little things, because you are mainly achieving Buddhahood, right? Therefore, as having strong aspiration to helping other, yeah, you can give temporal support, temporal helping, but you cannot bring them from samsara to liberation. You cannot bring them into Buddhahood because you haven't achieved your own Buddhahood. How you can teach them free from suffering? Therefore, you wish to become a Buddha. Therefore, you need to practice what? You need to practice bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, okay? You can practice bodhicitta. That means you already practice renunciation, for noble truth, emptiness. Now you need to practice bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta. Then bodhicitta, we remember the 7 cause and effect. 7 cause and effect. What are the 7 cause and effect? Mm-hmm. Then? Mm-hmm. Then altruism, then bodhicitta. Therefore, first you recognize all sentient beings as your mother. When you recognize all sentient beings as your mother, second you remember their kindness. In order to remember all sentient beings' kindness, first you remember kindness of your own mother in this lifetime. Then the same idea you can use to all sentient beings. Among the 7, great compassion is the result of the first 4. Right? First 4. What are the first 4? Recognize all sentient beings as your mother, remember their kindness, repay their kindness, then love and affection. Those are the cause. So in order to generate great compassion, first you must practice the first 4 steps, right? Then next 2 are the result. Altruism and bodhicitta are the result of the great compassion. That means without great compassion, you cannot have a altruism. Without altruism, you cannot have a bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, you cannot achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, as a Mahayana practitioner, great compassion is so important. Therefore, you must remember there's only one intent. Enter into Mahayana, doesn't matter Vajra Mahayana or Sutra Mahayana, there's only one intent, which is bodhicitta. Also, bodhicitta, rooted by great compassion. Right? Therefore, so let's say then, through your 7 cause and effect, you generate great compassion. You really have the great compassion because you are able to practice the first four. Then you accomplish the bodhicitta based on the great compassion. Now you have the bodhicitta. Only bodhicitta is not enough to cause to achieve Buddhahood. What you need? You need the wisdom, which is realize emptiness. Emptiness, six perfections. Among the six perfections, the great compassion is the most important. Without wisdom, which is realize emptiness, the six perfection function cannot be complete. Cannot be complete. With the wisdom, which is realize emptiness, then the rest of the five perfection function can be very complete. Therefore, here you must see it is very, very most important to realize emptiness. Because if you are a very compassionate person, you are a very soft person. Everybody likes you, or you like everybody, right? Still, you are in samsara because of the ignorance. Therefore, in order to free from samsara, in order to achieve Buddhahood, you need to stop, you need to cut the ignorance. Here again remember the uniqueness of the Madhyamaka, right? Madhyamaka system. Do you remember there are two kayas? What are they? Rupakaya and Dharmakaya. Must make sure Rupakaya, Dharmakaya. What is the Rupakaya? What is the Rupakaya? The merit? Let's say simply, we can say simply the Buddha physical body. The physical body, Buddha's physical body or Buddha's body. So what is the Dharmakaya? You can say, the cessation. The Buddha's, the cessation. So, in order to achieve in order to have the Buddha's physical body, you need to practice what? You need to accumulate which merit? There's two types of the methods merit and wisdom merit. We also use some other words, right? Two merits and the sublime wisdom, right? There's two types of merit. Tibetan we call sonam jitso, ishe jitso. Yeah, the wisdom merit and methods merit. So we need two kind of kaya, Rupakaya and Dharmakaya. Both them achieve simultaneously. Okay? Simultaneously. If you have only Dharmakaya, no Rupakaya, then what happened? Let's say, actually both of them achieve simultaneously. If, say, you have the Dharmakaya, no Rupakaya, then what's the problem? Yeah, why not? Yes, it's very close. For example, if there's no Rupakaya, no body, we cannot see Buddha. We cannot receive teaching, right? So in order to benefit others, the Buddha must have a physical body, which is people able to see, people able to touch, people able to receive the teaching. Therefore, so Dharmakaya is mainly to benefit others. The Dharmakaya, why Buddha achieved Dharmakaya? The Dharmakaya is mainly he achieved because he eliminated he or her own negative thoughts, ignorance. There's a Dharmakaya. So we have two kayas. It depends on the two types of merits. The two types of merits depend on the practice of methods and wisdom. Now, there's many kinds of methods and wisdom. Do you remember the wisdom which realizes impermanence, right? The wisdom which realizes selflessness. Those also wisdom. We are talking. What kind of wisdom we are talking? The wisdom which realizes emptiness, the fine nature of the phenomena. Then methods again, compassion, kindness, tolerance, love. Those also is methods. What kind of method we are talking here? The bodhicitta. If you have a bodhicitta, you have a love, you have a compassion, you have everything there. Therefore, in order to accumulate two kinds of merit, we need to practice the wisdom and methods. Right? So, in order to practice the wisdom and methods, we need to realize what? The two truths. Okay? Conventional truths, ultimate truth. When you realize the ultimate truths, then you have the wisdom. Then you can cut the root of the samsara. Then you will be able to accumulate the sublime wisdom, the sublime wisdom merit. Then you can have the rupakaya. Dharmakaya. When you are able to when you realize the conventional truth, then you are able to practice the methods, which is great compassion. Then you can accumulate the methods merit. Then you can have the rupakaya. Then you can benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, two truths, then two practices, then two types of sambhara or merit, then there's two types of achievement. No? The wisdom. Right? So, do you remember the wisdom is not just simple wisdom, wisdom realizes emptiness. Now, how we can, realize emptiness? Why is so important to realize emptiness? Because ignorance is the first among the 12 link interdependence. That means why we are in samsara. There's no powerful being who really create the samsara, who order. No. Everything happened because of the causes and conditions. That's means we call second existence, samsara, khorwa. Means we are going up and down, never ending. Therefore, ignorance is the first among the 12. Right? Therefore, according to the Pasangika, do you remember there's two kinds of negation? What are they? The negation, which is negated by path, the negation which is negated by reasoning and logics. Okay, must remember. When we say negation means, eliminating, negate. There's two types. One is the negate by the path, one is negate by logic and reasoning. All the afflict emotions, include ignorance, those are the negation which is negated by path. Therefore, among the four noble truths, you can see the cessation, the path to cessation. Actually, the path we need to practice, we need to cultivate the path in order to eliminate all the negative things. Also, second is the negation which is negated by logics and reason. What is the second negation? What is the second one? What's the second one? Do you remember also, you must remember, the first is existent, right? The first, the negation which is eliminated by path, those are existent. Otherwise, do you remember what Lama Tsongkhapa said? Without assertion, all sentient beings must be already free from the suffering, free from samsara. Right? Therefore, the first negation exists, second is not existent. What is the second one? Yeah, second one, right? So anyway, so now we start from the. So I think there's a few things we have to go more precisely. Then we will jump. Okay. What's the page number? Expression of the muscle. Ignorance is the first among the 12s. 3?
208.
Okay, 208. 208, yeah.
208.
Okay, so these are few pages, we go very slowly and precisely. Therefore, he explains that the ignorant, which is the first of the 12 factors, is the root of second existence. That means the ignorant is the first among the 12s. Within that means within the ignorance, he also explained that the view of perishing aggregates is the root of the second existence. Since ignorance is the general category and the view of perishing aggregates is an instance, there's no contradictions. Therefore, you can say ignorance is the root of the second existence, and the view of perishing aggregates is also the root of the second existence. Right? So, ignorance is the opposite of the knowledge. So, we already gone through very precisely, is opposite. Right now, just look at the page number 209, the last paragraph. I think, okay, we go this one, second one, 208, the last paragraph. Also, Nagarjuna, precious Galen, as long as you conceive of the aggregates, you will conceive of them as a I, right? So it's not just saying perceive aggregates. As long as you perceive of the aggregates as a intrinsic existence, clear? As long as you conceive of the aggregates as an intrinsic existence, then you will conceive of them. Them mean the aggregates as a I. This means that the ignorance, that is the confusion in the regarding to an objective self, cause confusion with regard to the personal self. Since this is placed, the internal division of the ignorance in the cause and effect relationship, it does not contradict. That means there's a two kinds of ignorance. One is the subjective ignorance, means ignorant about the I. Second is ignorant about the mind. Right? Mind. That means the phenomena. Now, please remember, ignorance, there's two kinds of ignorance. One is ignorance about the I, second is mind. Mind means the things which belongs to you, the rest of the phenomena. Among these two, also cause and effect. So which one the cause? Regarding to an objective self, okay, objective self cause confusion with regard to the personal self. Since that means the ignorance which is confusion about the phenomena, which is confusion about the five aggregates, is the cause. Okay, it's the cause. Due to that, the second ignorance is the effect. Clear? There's a, for example, you don't understand the nature of the five aggregates, right? Then there's an ignorance. Second, also you don't understand the nature of I. Then there's an ignorance. The first is cause, the second is the effect. Among the two ignorance, one cause, one is effect. Therefore, if you do not understand this way of explaining what the Master Chandrakirti intended, then it's very difficult to dispel the false impression that is to contradict himself by explaining the root of the existence. Now, simply what you need to think, generally, ignorance is the root of samsara. Also, sometimes you can see the view of five pressing aggregates is the root of samsara. That means ignorance is the general, particularly the view of pressing aggregates is the root of the samsara. Right? Then, within the ignorance, again there's two types. Ignorance of the phenomena, ignorance about the self. Both of them also cause, the main cause of the samsara. Both of them also root of the samsara. Then which one is root? Which one is the first? Then the ignorance, which is ignorant, confused about the five aggregates, is the cause. Second, the ignorant, which is confused about the self, is the effect. That means within the two ignorant became cause and effect. Next, 209, when the Master Nagarjuna refutes the object of negation in the fundamental treatise, he gives all of his diverse arguments so as to refute the intrinsic nature. So, all the argument, all the debate, logic, reason are mainly for refuting the intrinsic nature. The intrinsic nature, which is the delusion, reification of the phenomena as essentially exists. To show the phenomena lack essence, thus Nagarjuna gives wide. That means all the logic and reasoning mainly focus to refute the intrinsic existence, the substantial existence. Now which just think about when you look at a phenomena, when you look at the thing, anything, when you look at the thing, for we really don't know that thing is mainly designation, right? Things are designated by the term and the thoughts, right? For example, let's say iPhone. Somebody designated the thing as a iPhone, right? Actually, when you open the iPhone, you can find so many different pieces, different parts together there. Each of the parts are not the iPhone, right? No. All together also not iPhone. So iPhone means there's a something put together, then some person name as a iPhone. Then for us, when we think of iPhone, the iPhone is not for us, is from there. We never think this is our own. We never think it is designated by our thoughts, right? This means all for us, all things exist inherently, essentially. Therefore, we don't know the reality. Therefore, we have a ignorance. Therefore, all the logic and reasoning mainly refute the intrinsic and essential nature. So next, you can see the page number 210. So what is the purpose of teaching dependent arising? Dependent arising. Right? So here everybody must try to know the meaning of dependent then arising. There's two parts, okay? Dependent arising. You always split the word into two. What are they? Dependent arising. Okay? So when you say dependent is refute independent. Okay? When you say independent, the words refute is a dependent, refute the independent. You refute the independent notion. Clear? Dependent. That means is explained as free from one of the extreme. Dependent means refute the independent. That means when you think about dependent, you refute the independent. That means you are free from one of the extreme, which is absolutism, right? Dependent means is refute the independent. Sorry, when you say independent, the words which is express the independent, you refuse dependent, you refuse the independent. When the words refuse the independent, when you understand everything dependent, then your mind free from one of the extreme, which is absolutism. Nothing come being to exist independently, come being to exist dependently. That means about you can see you are free from one of the extremes. Second one, dependent arising. Also, the words which is arising mean things are there. Things are there, right? There. Then also the words which express arising in also refute nihilism, right? It's not nothing there. No, there's something there is arise. That means dependent arise. The two words split is totally refute the two extreme. When you understand the actual meaning, dependent arising, your mind is free from the two extreme. Two extreme, right? So among the two, so when you really understand dependent arising, the more you understand the dependent arising, your daily activity become more pure. More pure. The more you have a deeper understanding of dependent arising, then you really, your activity, your action, always act into the positive actions. Why? Why? Because when you understand dependent arising, you really understand the conventional truth, how things exist, how things are arising. That means the bad thing arising from bad condition, the good thing arising from the good condition. So which one you want? The good condition, good result, or bad result? Good result. Therefore, the good result also arising from good condition. Therefore, you always try to have a good condition. You always avoid the bad condition. Therefore, the happiness arising dependently. Dependent on what? The happiness dependent arising on the good condition, positive condition. Then you can say virtuous condition, right? That means when you really understood the dependent arising, then you are always very careful about your daily activity, daily action, dependent arising. So, what was the purpose of teaching dependent arising? The Master Nagarjuna, whose very nature is compassion, right? Nagarjuna, Buddha Shakyamuni, they are very compassionate. So the living beings are beset by various sufferings and assume the trust of the teaching, the reality of things just as it is, so that they may be free. Now, what is the connection between teaching dependent arising and be compassionate? What is the connection? You are very compassionate, therefore you teach the dependent arising. So how you can see the connection? I think you remember when we attend the His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching. So His Holiness said, so someone is totally down in water, or carry in the big wave in water. The person is screaming, please save me, right? The person is very screaming, is asking you to help. The water is so big, you cannot go and jump, also you're going to die. Then in the center of the river, there's one tree, big tree is there. Then what you wish? I wish the person could climb the tree. This is the only way he can be free from the problem. Wish the person hold the tree, cling the tree, right? You can wish only this. You cannot jump. Wish to, cling the tree. That means, even though Buddha is a Buddha, he achieved Buddhahood, he has omniscience, he cannot come and just, save from the samsara. He cannot. What he wish? Oh, because the person is totally, in the water, he has a lot of problem, a lot of suffering. I cannot do much. I ask him to cling or hold, catch the tree. Then you will be free. Therefore, Buddha knows why we are in samsara, because of the karma, because of the ignorance. Wish the person will realize emptiness. Therefore, Buddha was so compassionate, Nagarjuna was very compassionate. Wish all sentient beings realize emptiness. Only the one things to realize emptiness, then everybody free from the suffering. Therefore, you can see, Buddha, Nagarjuna was, nature is compassion, so that what he saw, living beings are beset by various suffering. Assume the test or teaching. Yeah, therefore you can, Nagarjuna saw all sentient beings as suffering. The main cause is all the ignorance, so wish to realize emptiness. The next sentence, look at, is very important also. Seeing what is not real, you are bound. Seeing the real, you are free. What we have been seeing? We have been seeing such as no real. Therefore, we are bound. We are bound. For example, somehow there's one magician. He made a big, scary ghost in this house. Very scary ghost, very big and strong, very scary ghost. When the ghost appeared to us, how do you feel? Feel happy or scared? So scared. So scared, right? So scared. Why we feel so scared? Because we saw the ghost. We didn't know this is a magical ghost. We thought it's a real. That's why we think this is real. That's why we have all this, scary mind we have. If we know at the beginning or after a few minutes, if we know it's a magical ghost, then you will be scared or not? Will you know? Because it's not real. Not real. Therefore, we bound in samsara because we have sins which is not real. When you see the real, then you are free. Now look at, for us, look like quite easy to be freed from suffering. What do you have to know? You need to know the emptiness. Only we are lacking because we are in samsara, because we have all the problems and sufferings, because we don't see the reality. We saw something which is not real. Then, what is the reality of the thing? Just as it is. Just as it is, right? So, what does mean just as it is? Please, you remember this meaning, huh? What is the reality of thing just as it is? It is the absence of essence. Right? If you know, things, everything, the nature is absence of essence. Unskilled person, look like unskilled person whose eyes of intelligence is obscured by darkness of delusion, conscious of essence in the things, then generate attachment, hostility with regard to them. Right? Now it's very important, this sentence. Unskilled skilled person who we are, right? Who has eyes, means we don't have the wisdom. Our wisdom, our minds, our intelligence is obscured by what? Obscured by darkness. That means we cannot see things very clearly. There are a lot of darkness. Darkness refers to the delusion. The delusion refers to the ignorance. Okay? Unskilled person whose eyes of intelligence is obscured by the darkness of ignorance. What the ignorant can perceive, the delusion conceive of essence in the things. Right? That means ignorant always conceive essence in the things. And then what happened? Generate attachment and hostility. With regard to them, when the illumination of knowledge of the independent arising, look at, when you have the knowledge, dependent arising, what happened? Then clear away the darkness of delusion, and the eyes of the wisdom sees the absence of essence in the things. Right? Here talking about the eyes, talking about experience darkness, delusion, then concept. The opposite, illumination of the knowledge of dependent arising. When you have the right understanding of the dependent arising, then this knowledge can clear away the darkness of ignorance. Right? Then what we can see, the eyes of wisdom sees what can see? Absence of essence. Where? in the things, then there's no foundation of the other affliction and attachment, hostility do not develop. That means, look at again, we had seen very scary ghosts, very big, very strong. That means our eyes totally darkness because of the ignorance. With ignorance, we don't know the scary ghost is the illusion or magical things. So when we see is a magical or is not real, then there's no development of hatred, no development of scary things, right? So this thing you should not read as a story, okay? Should not read as a story or history book. You really need to study very precisely. What does mean delusion? What does mean darkness? What does mean illuminations? Okay, next. I think we should go. Okay, next, the statements makes it clear the master Buddha Palita also asserts that the ignorance, which is the first of the 12 factors of dependent arising, is the superimposition of the intrinsic nature on the thing. Look at this sentence. Superimposition of what? Intrinsic nature. On what? On the thing. And that Charvaka, Pratika Buddha, know the semblance of object. So therefore, ignorance is the first among the 12. The ignorance is the superimposition of the intrinsic nature on the thing. Therefore, Charvaka, Pratika Buddha know what? They know the selflessness of the object. Therefore, you should understand that the great proof of the showing the Charvaka and Pratika Buddha knows the object. What object? All the phenomena. Right? Object, like intrinsic nature, is the fact, the conception of the objective self, contrary as ignorant. That means, simple, you can say Charvaka Buddha, Pratika Buddha also realize emptiness because ignorance is the among the first among the 12. Therefore, they eliminate that samsara. In order to eliminate samsara, they have to eliminate ignorance. Therefore, they realize emptiness. Then, since Aryadeva, for instance, conceptual sees that you are bound, right? Conceptuality sees and you are bound. You should be stopped here. Even the conceptuality mentioned in the statement does not refer to all conceptual. Right? That means what is says conceptual cease and you are bound and should be stopped here. That means when you have a conceptual mind, you can see essence in the phenomena. Okay? When you have a conceptual mind, you can see essence in the thing. When you stop the conceptual mind, then you cannot see any essence in the thing. This conceptual, we are not talking all the conceptual mind. Look at all conceptual. Even though conceptuality mentioned in the statement does not refer to the all conceptual consciousness whatsoever, but rather to the conceptual consciousness that superimpose essential existence on the phenomena. For commenting on the passage of Chandrakirti, that means if there's a conceptual thoughts, then you can see the intrinsic existence. Therefore, you need to stop the conceptual thought, right? Conceptual thought. The conceptual thought not refer to all the conceptual thought. The conceptual thought which is superimposed on the phenomena. The superimposed means the intrinsic. Let's say, there's four people together there. Then the four people together fight us. They really beat us. Then we are angry with the four people. Definitely, they really hit us, they really beat us. We angry. Then we thought, all the four people are very bad. When you analyze very closely, among the four, there's only one boss. The boss has to hit us. That means there are so many conceptual thoughts, which is, produce a lot of suffering problem. Among the conceptual thought, ignorance is the boss. So therefore, we need to stop the ignorance. How you can stop? Now you remember in the previous class. How you can stop ignorance? You need to develop certain knowledge, which is see thing as it is. Also, you need to develop certain knowledge, which is see the non-existent as a non-existent. Okay? I think you already forgot. Okay? So today's lesson, we can stop here. Then you please read, few pages, then you become very clear.